Young ladies and gentlemen, good evening to all of you. Or good morning, depending on the time you receive this video conference from the one and only samurai that I am. Once again, welcome here to your platform, the much-loved platform for awakening consciousness. It's the headline of international news. President Felix Tshisekedi of the Democratic Republic of the Congo and Rwandan President Paul Kagame met in Doha, Qatar. Yes, as you can see in the image, the two men sat face to face. So, what needs to be said is that apparently we are not very far from the advent of peace. We are not very far. What is very surprising is to see the Arab countries fighting very, very hard to this day to help all the states that are having difficulties, that are in conflict, to be able to reconnect with themselves, reconnect with peace, and find their peace. So, already, what needs to be said is that this March 18th, 2025, the meeting which was supposed to take place in Luanda was aborted. It did not take place. But the one that was supposed to bring together Tshisekedi and Paul Kagame took place in Qatar. So, after their discussion, which lasted a bit long, a joint communique was issued. What is the content of this communique? And what could be the future impacts? Decisions that were made in Doha. Ladies and gentlemen, in the context of this video conference, this is of course what we're going to talk about. But as usual, before continuing, I ask you to share this video conference. It should be shared as much as possible in all possible groups. Share it as much as you can. Give it lots of likes. Above all, I want to see comments. That is to say, the algorithm of this platform has changed its system. As long as you post a lot of comments, the video goes viral, it becomes visible to many people. But if you don't post enough comments, the video will remain unchanged, and then it will be counterproductive. That's what it's about. So, good decisions were made in Qatar on this day, March 18th, 2025. But we wonder, will these decisions that were made be respected by the M23 elements? Big question mark. But the mere fact that Paul Kagame agreed to travel to Qatar to meet with Tshisekedi, it sufficiently proves that he acknowledges nonetheless his fault in what is happening in the east of the DRC. So, the fact that he regularly denies there. Now, let's delve deeper. The joint communique between the State of Qatar, the Democratic Republic of the Congo, and the Republic of Rwanda. Doha, March 18, 2025. We will read the communique quickly. As part of efforts to ease the situation in the east of the Democratic Republic of the Congo, the State of Qatar hosted a trilateral meeting in Doha. Trilateral in Doha. It is March 18, 2025. This meeting was chaired by His Excellency Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani, Emir of the State of Qatar. So, in the presence of His Excellency President Paul Kagame and the President of the Republic of Rwanda, yes, in the presence of the President of Rwanda and President Tshisekedi of the Democratic Republic of the Congo, thank you. So, the heads of state praised the progress made in the Luanda and Nairobi processes, as well as the joint EAC SADC summit held in Dar es Salaam in Tanzania on February 8, 2025. They reaffirmed, the two heads of state and the three heads of state reaffirmed the commitment of all parties to immediate and unconditional fire. So they agreed on an immediate and unconditional ceasefire. As approved during this extremely important and very influential summit, the heads of state of their respective nations then agreed on the necessity to continue the discussions initiated in Doha to establish a solid foundation for lasting peace in accordance with the Luanda and Nairobi processes now merged or aligned. Share this video conference. So here is the last sentence of the communique. His Excellency President Paul Kagame, President of the Republic of Rwanda, and His Excellency President Tshisekedi, President of the Democratic Republic of the Congo, expressed their gratitude towards the state of Qatar and His Excellency, His Highness Sheikh Emir of the State of Qatar, for their hospitality and for organizing this fruitful meeting. This initiative has helped to strengthen trust and commitment towards a secure and stable future for the Democratic Republic of the Congo and the region. Here, dear ladies and gentlemen, the joint communique. So, that means they have understood each other. They have agreed on an immediate ceasefire. But how will Corone Nanga and his team stop? So that means it's Paul Kagame who will speak to his team. He will tell them to stop. Paul Kagame, who has spent all his time denying in any involvement of Rwanda in the DRC affair, the Rwandan Minister of Foreign Affairs, who has come out and spoken a lot recently, denying the effect of the presence of Rwandan soldiers in the DRC. If today they all agree that the ceasefire must happen immediately, it means that somewhere Rwanda is responsible for something. So we will see how it will unfold. So, it would also be preferable, perhaps, that Corone Nanga and his teams are either invited to Qatar, even if it is not in the presence of Felix Tshisekedi, but the state of Congo can send representatives, Rwanda can also send representatives, and this exchange with, obviously, this group of rebels would allow achieving results, expected desired results. But this time, we wonder how it will be effective, since it is Rwanda that has been invited. But alongside Rwanda, we have Rwanda's operatives who are on the ground. We have the AFC and we have the M23. So, will the AFC and the M23 agree to comply with the decision made from Qatar? Will they agree? This is the big question. So, whatever happens, it's already a good step, even if many on the continent are viewing this negatively. The fact that Tshisekedi agrees to sit down with Rwanda, but it must be said that it's normal, it's to resolve the conflict. Since many lives are being sacrificed in the eastern part of the DRC, to resolve this conflict, one must sit down with the main responsible party. And this is a victory for Tshisekedi, who has always said he prefers to speak directly to the master of those executing on the ground, rather than speaking with the executors and the supreme master, who is Paul Kagame. So, ladies and gentlemen, here is the headline of the news. We will continue to follow it. Everything that will result from it, we will come back here on the Tribune of Awakening Consciousness to discuss it. Thank you all for sharing this video conference as much as possible. I will be back shortly with new updates. This was the voice of your one and only Samurai.